Good morning, family. This is Ricky, and welcome to Hope for Today. As a young preacher, me and my buddy Albert, who's a close, dear friend, we started preaching together at the same time around 1998. And one tagline that really just blessed our hearts and ended up blessing a lot of people with our sermons was this tagline: if you get honest, you'll get free. If you get honest, you'll get free. And what we were trying to say is that freedom comes when you find the vulnerability to admit that you're struggling. And I was listening to a pastor the other day who was talking about the power of confession. And he was basically saying that we all struggle, but the problems get pretty severe when we struggle in isolation. And the idea was that if you're going through something, if you're struggling with something like a sin or just the weight of depression and anxiety, he says, don't do that in isolation. Talk to somebody. Tell somebody that you can trust, that you know trust God. And the whole idea is that as soon as something breaks free from being trapped on the inside and goes to the outside, that struggle loses its power over your life. And so James chapter 5, verse 16, he says to us, therefore confess your sins to one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person has great power as it is working. James says to us, if you're struggling with something, make it known. Confess it. Put it out there. Now I know there's shame and there's guilt and all those sorts of things that the enemy uses to keep us from sharing it. But let me just warn you, that same interview, the preacher said, you'll be as sick as your secrets. You'll be as sick as your secrets, which means keep that thing from being hidden and bring it out to the light where the gospel can make change in your heart, in your soul, and in your mind. Don't struggle in isolation. You'll be as sick as your secrets. Confess your sins one to another. And I hear you, because a lot of you are saying, but you know, Ricky, I've done something that really wasn't up to par, or I'm wrestling with something that I feel like I shouldn't be wrestling with at this stage in my life. And I get that, and it's real. Because to confess something and to admit something, to some extent, that's your willingness to sacrifice your ideals of your reputation, your perspective of your reputation. But James here says that prayer will bring healing to you. So you got to make a decision. Would I rather be sick and struggling and have somewhat of a damaged reputation, or would I rather have healing and deliverance? The same preacher said this. He said that confession may be damaging to the reputation, but it is deliverance for the soul. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather my soul have deliverance than my name have fame. In Jesus' name, don't struggle in isolation. Talk to somebody who loves God even more than they love you, so that secret in your life can lose its power. That's the power of confession, and that's Hope for Today. I'll see you next time.